Our project focused on the Nonviolent Peaceforce organization. Here's some background information about hippies. Their era was during the 1960s and early 70s. Hippies originated on college campuses throughout the United States. They mainly started because of the Vietnam War and the want of peace throughout a nation, and also John F. Kennedy's assassination. They favored long hair and psychedelic colors and adopted mostly vegetarian diets. Hippies were mainly dropouts and sometimes created small businesses working alongside other hippies. Their religious beliefs ranged, but most of them were Buddhist. They were very into hallucinogens, such as LSD and marijuana, which first started in 1961. They were also very into music festivals, and the most famous music festival was Woodstock. They were very anti-war and thought peace was a better solution than fighting. Some of the most famous hippies were the Manson family, Bob Marley, and Andy Warhol. So, how does the Nonviolent Peaceforce organization and hippies connect? The hippie movements in the 1960s through 70s focused mainly on peace throughout the nations. This was during the Vietnam War, while many men were being sent out to battle and never returning. The hippies portrayed their messages in nonviolent ways. They held up signs expressing their beliefs and expressed their own style of life. The Nonviolent Peaceforce organization focuses on nonviolent ways to have peace throughout the world, just like the hippies did.
The NP has a variety of goals, which they hope to accomplish through their mission. First is to create a space for lasting peace. In addition, they hope to protect civilians made vulnerable by conflict. They do this by going into nations where conflict is very prominent and there's lots of violence, and they aim to protect the civilians there and to alleviate future violence in the nation as a whole. In addition, they hope to create and promote an idea and practice of unarmed civilian peacekeeping, which could be considered a viable option for the decision makers, thus ending unnecessary conflicts in the future and offering peace as an option for alleviating conflict. Finally, they hope to develop a trained team to join peace groups throughout the world. This would require extensive training and maintenance to form a capable team. A functionalist would say that this creates a balance between violence and nonviolence in our otherwise overwhelmingly violent society. The Nonviolent Peaceforce has a variety of criteria which members would have to meet. To find such members, they put out advertisements and expect prospective members to outreach to them. The requirements include being motivated and committed. This is because this is a dangerous position that requires unfailing faith to their mission. In addition, they consider maturity a valuable asset because despite age, one would need self-respect, confidence, and judgment to properly fit this role. Flexibility is another important attribute because being adaptable to the environment and opinions of others would be incredibly important to maintaining peace in other nations. Resilience is another important attribute because working under extreme stress would be a common practice in these violent countries. In addition, cultural sensitivity would be important because the ability to thrive in foreign cultures with unique values is very unique and important in traveling to any foreign country, especially when the country is often resentful towards foreigners. Having team spirit is important because working towards a common goal with a team is often challenging, and those who are experienced in this field would be ideal for the Nonviolent Peaceforce. Finally, having practical skills and being incredibly fit are important because the dangerous situations in often underdeveloped countries are very often to handle oneself in. So having these practical skills makes one a much more reliable member of the Peace Force. A final requirement is the only one requiring age is that one must be 20 or more years of age. All of the goals of the Nonviolent Peace Force may seem ideal, however, many would argue that this is dysfunctional in society. A world without conflict would be very unrealistic and create many unresolvable situations based on land ownership or debts paid or other conflicts that arise throughout the world. In addition, being unarmed in these violent countries is incredibly dangerous, and often many would argue this is not a smart idea for one to practice. Finally, a conflict theorist would say that violence is inevitable, especially in a world where power is so imbalanced among society, and that people are constantly striving to gain power and overthrow those who are oppressing them.
How they transform public opinion. They are able to gain positive recognition from the media, which ultimately is able to influence the public opinion on the organization. Some examples may include reuniting families, bringing peace to multiple countries where violence is common, practicing nonviolent civilian protection. They create conflict without weapons, and they also provide safe spaces for conflict-affected children. How they achieve change and receive funds. A vital source of fundraising for the Nonviolent Peaceforce are endorsements from bilateral funders, which include UNICEF, UNDP, and UNHCR. They also get funded by governments, religious groups, and other foundations. In 2016, their total expenses were over $11 million. With this money that gets donated, the Nonviolent Peaceforce is able to act upon their visions on making the world a better and safer place. Non-media strategies. To carry out a mission, the Nonviolent Peaceforce needs to have enough support from their community as well as the governments to be able to implement their work. The Nonviolent Peaceforce do a majority of their work which is hands-on, which means that they get involved with the targeted communities and are actively interacting and helping the people.